Good morning, America. Welcome to my channel. Well, I am here today to say spring has sprung, the weather's getting better, and it's time for you to start growing food, plants, whatever you like. But you really need to start dabbling into some gardening. Now, let me tell you, gardening is not easy for beginners, but if you've done it and you grew up gardening and stuff, it's pretty much a simple thing for you to learn. Now, I'm going to start off in letting you know that I drink my Folgers instant coffee every day and I love it. I think it is the best thing out there. I get it when it's on sale. I've stocked up on it because I think it's imperative that people start stocking up on certain goods for your home, especially the basic things like flour, cornmeal, beans, rice, coffee, tea, sugar, those things, because the cost of living is going up. This video isn't about politics. This video is about growing and gardening and YouTubing. So I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I do still have a very bad sore throat, and um, and I'm trying to get over it. It's been lingering on for a few weeks. So let me take my sip. Mm. Oh, well, that tastes good. And it helps a little bit. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about gardening today is that YouTubing is your best tool for learning how to garden. You can learn lots of ways to garden, and gardening is so easy. You can watch people on YouTube videos. All you have to do is type in gardening from a balcony, easy gardening. Uh, Things like that. If you have a backyard, you can put above the ground planters and stuff like that. Or you can literally just take a bag of soil, a large bag of soil, and cut it open and plant plants in it. And you can literally garden out of that in your backyard. You don't have to have an above the ground um, garden bin to grow food in. But the thing is, what I am going to be doing this year, I am not going to be spreading soil around everywhere to start my plants this time. I am actually going to do the unthinkable, the unimaginable, and I am going to take large bags of soil and I'm going to place them in my flower beds. I'm going to do some small ones as well. And I'm going to make sure there's holes on the top side of the bag and the bottom side that allows the roots to grow down. And uh, and what this will do is that it will be much easier than having to dig up the yard. And uh, and I'm just going to start putting different types of plants in these bags of soil. And and that way I don't have to do a lot of digging in the ground. As a senior citizen, it gets harder as you get older to dig in the ground. Um, but spring is here and it's time for gardening. And and one of the other things is growing food. You can actually do that inside a home, outside a home. If you have a backyard, make it work for you. It doesn't just have to be mowing grass all the time. You could turn it into a field of whatever you want it to be, your backyard. It could be a field of roses. It could be a field of all sorts of different flowers and bushes and shrubs and whatever. Um, I recently purchased my first purchase of lilacs, and I they grow about 10 to 12 feet tall and about 8 feet wide. And I'm building a border fence with four of them. I have two purplish color and then I have two pinks. So, and then I can literally cut the stems off and I can propagate them and I can actually grow more and create a full fencing system around my backyard instead of putting up a wire fence, which is costing a lot more these days. Now, another thing you can do is that you can actually uh, grow your vegetables. You can grow all sorts of flowers. You can learn on YouTube how to propagate and save roses, seeds of rose plants that you love. And you can actually grow more roses instead of buying more. And there's ways of storing seeds so that they will last up to 10 to 15, 20 years. And I tell you, I went out and I purchased 3 peppers, okay? A red, a green, and a yellow pepper. And I also got myself a couple of jalapenos. And so what do? I just open them up and I scrape out all the seeds. I make sure I lay them on paper towels and I actually list each one so I know which seed belongs to what. And that way I know that these seeds are going to grow more vegetables for me. And how do I know that? Well, I take my seeds, I take a little bit of warm water, and I drop my seeds in them. And those that float on the top, they're non-viable. They're not going to produce anything. But the ones that sink down are those you want to plant and grow. Now, you can save your eggshells. You don't have to go out there and buy a ton of fertilizer for your plant gardens. You can actually use eggshells, tangerines, orange pills, let them all dry out, crush them, mix them up in a blender separately, the orange and tangerine pills in one and the eggshells in another, and save your coffee grounds if you drink ground coffee. Save those grounds. Sprinkle a little bit of that on top of your vegetable garden beds and your flower beds as well. I think they like a good taste of caffeine from time to time. And but it helps with the growth and of your plants in both your floral and your vegetable gardens. So I'm telling you, there are so many ways that you can save money just by gardening at home. You can have a table in front of a window in an apartment complex, okay, or a condominium. And I'll tell you this, you can grow flowers, you can grow vegetables in front of a window that receives a lot of sunlight. And there's so many things you can do. When I lived in California, I had a long, really long coffee table from Mexico that I purchased. And and I still have it. And but I put all these different size pots and I actually used tin cans and and I painted them and decorated them to turn them into pots. And so what I did was I grew my own tulips inside because I couldn't have them outside. I didn't have a yard. So I grew tulips. I grew small rose bushes and stuff like that inside. And I grew myself some herbs. I grew myself some peppers and I grew myself some jalapenos inside. So yes, you can grow food inside. Um, Inside your home. If you have a nice sized window and and a lot of sun comes through that window, you can literally grow food. So there are many ways to survive 2026 in America, and there's so many other things you can do. So, and always when you grow food, save the seeds. Don't throw them away. Why do you need to keep going out and paying for seeds when you can save the seeds that you have in your own fruit at home and you can grow from? I do so many things and I love it. I love gardening. I love the fact that I'm eating healthy and it's not going to reverse aging. I'm old and I don't mind getting old. I know my life and everybody else that's as old as I am, you know, our time's limited, but gardening, it keeps me moving, it keeps me preoccupied, and I think a lot of seniors should really get into some gardening. I think it would make you feel better knowing that you are growing a plant, something new, something different. and, just doing things, keeping active. My husband and I, we fight over mowing a lawn. I like to do the mowing because I like the exercise, and he wants to do the mowing too. I usually win, but if my back is hurting, then you just knock yourself out and you do it. But this year, this is the first year my husband and I both are going to be doing a lot of gardening out in our yards. And and I tell you, if you have backyards, order yourself the Georgia peach trees. Yes, they are delicious peaches. They are. I think, in my opinion, they are the best peaches, Georgia peach trees. So that's just my opinion, just like my opinion about Folgers instant coffee. I love it. I drink it all the time. I also drink their ground coffee as well, but I like the instant coffee because it's quicker. And but I'll tell you something. There are so many things to do now that spring is here once again, and gardening is just a fun thing to teach you and your children. Watch YouTube videos, America, and learn how to garden. Watch a lot of them out there. There's plenty of people out there that will show you physically how it's done. I am working on a camera. Okay. I would love to show my gardens. I just don't know how to do it just yet. I'm new to YouTube and I'm just working on all this stuff, and hopefully I will be able to figure it out. And as most people know, I am a burn survivor. That's why I look the way I look. And and my hair is usually a mess because I just hate dealing with it, but I don't care. I chop it off from time to time. Every other month I cut off about 2, 3 inches. So, but I'll tell you, gardening is one of the funnest things I've ever done. Um, and I think you, America, and your children, your grandchildren, all would love to dabble in gardening and growing things. And in tomatoes, oh God, they are so delish. I have my tomatoes out there already beginning to grow a little bit. And all you have to do is buy one tomato and a little bit of soil and spread a little soil on top of the tomato. Make sure it gets some sun. And those seeds that start sprouting are the ones that you're going to want to separate and grow. And you grow multiple tomato plants from one tomato slice that has a bunch of seeds in it. So there's a lot of things you can do, America, to grow and survive in 2026. So welcome to my channel, and I hope you click like and subscribe. And I want and urge every one of you out there, look up gardening channels on YouTube. YouTube is a tool for all of America and the world to learn. And I think it's imperative that we all learn. I learned a ton of new tricks about gardening. Yes, there are lots of things that I didn't know that I know now. And I think you should start looking up gardening on YouTube as well. You have a great spring, summer, and fall of 2026. And just try a little bit of gardening. I think you'll feel better. Bye bye.